hello out there, everybody. What's going on? This is Miho, as always, with the Too Close to Call podcast series. My guest today, I don't think you guys could guess. Oh, wait, yes, you can. It's my co-host, Pags. This series we're doing is the Intentional Grounding series, and we are wrapping up the last two divisions in the NFC with the North and the East today, Pags.
Yeah, let's jump into the North right away right here. And the best team in the North Division has the worst quarterback in the division. I was watching all kinds of shit today on NFL Network.
Let me think about that for a quick second here. We got Rodgers, Stafford, and Kirk Cousins. Oh, ding, ding, ding.
Nope.
No.
Mitchell Trubiski.
Really?
He stinks.
Why do you say that?
I think he stinks. I think he's a bad quarterback. I think that he is opportunistic in times.
Wow.
Has a solid cast around him.
Really?
But I think he stinks.
Does he, though?
He's got Tariq Cohen, who makes plays with his legs, who they'll run that nice little cute screen that Matt Nagy likes to play. I think he is kind of on the same lines of Jared Goff, and Nagy puts him in the right position to make plays.
Well, that is one thing that watching them, and I'm going to be honest with you, I didn't catch a lot of Bears games last year up until Wild
Card
Weekend. Exactly. But it sure seemed like that Nagy understood and maybe understands that the defense is obviously the strength of that team, and he put Trubiski in more of an Alex Smith situation, kind of stemming from his time in Kansas City, and really just saying, hey, man, manage the game. We need you to make a couple of throws late. We don't need you to go out there, sling it all over, and the defense is going to keep us in this until the fourth quarter, and then it's a play here and a play there, and we win a football game.
Yeah, but game managers don't win you playoff games. You saw that with Jared Goff against the Patriots. The Patriots defense figured it out, and Jared Goff couldn't make a throw to save his life.
But I don't think Goff's a game manager. He slings it all over, dude. All they do is run the spread, run and gun, and he led the league in what? Yards per attempt?
I'm not using the proper vernacular. I don't think Jared Goff's a game manager. I think he's a product of his system. And I think Trubiski is a game manager and a product of his system.
You don't think he's going to
develop? He stinks. He's a poor man's Carson Wentz.
He had a rough first year, but last year, what were they, 12-4?
Yeah, and that's because their defense was absolutely nasty.
And they're going to be nasty again,
I agree.
Right?
And I'm not saying that the Bears aren't going to be the top team in the division. I'm just saying all these people talking about how Mitch Trubisky is going to be the best quarterback in the division.
So you think the Bears, in spite of Mitchell Trubiski, are going to be good this year?
Correct.
And you mentioned the top of the division here, so we'll kind of jump around a little bit while we get into the teams. But the Bears over-under, as well as, this is where it gets kind of interesting when you look at it, the Bears, Packers, Vikings, all that 9 over-under. So clearly Vegas has
no clue.
We don't know. All these teams, Rodgers off an injury, Kirk Cousins, is he good? Is he bad? They were supposed to be really good, then they stank. Trubiski was bad, then they're good. They get Mack, they lose Howard. There's a lot going on here, man, but it seems those three.
You're the team that won 12 games last year, miss a field goal, should have been in the divisional round, and Vegas still has you at 9.
Okay, good point. So let me ask you this based on that. Who did they lose? That they're down 3 games, or did they overperform at a 3-game level? Like, are there losses there to kind of justify
Vic
that?
Vic Fangio left. But,
DC, right?
Yeah, but they add Chuck Pagano, who was a stud defensive coordinator back in the day.
He's going to be fun. He's going to love that defense.
Jordan Howard.
Okay.
So you have Tariq Cohen.
But he's arguable as they were moving on because he wasn't very good.
Right. They added David Montgomery, the rookie
I've seen
running
a lot
back.
of people high on him in the fantasy football
world,
that they think he's going to get a lot of touches and really.
Well, they're a 2-back system. Tariq Cohen, he's your younger Darren Sproles there.
Who do they have on the outside still? Robinson, right?
Yeah,
Kevin White's still trying to play football?
No, Kevin White's cut. I remember
He cut them. He's somewhere, though, I feel like.
No, he's gone.
He's gone. K. White, Emmaus.
Lost corner Bryce Callahan and Adrian Amos, so losing a couple.
Wow. That really is interesting. Not a ton of names there, and yet
Here's another key loss. You ready for this one?
Okay.
Cody Parkey.
Oh, the keyest of losses.
You could not bring him back, right? If you're a Chicago.
Who's winning that battle right now? Any idea?
I have no idea. Who's even their kicker?
I was going to say they had like 3 or 4
that
of them.
Dude's got a lot of pressure on him, man.
A lot of pressure. I think they should go out and get Robert Aguayo.
Ooh, maybe he'll doink a couple off the freaking post.
Biggest bust ever, that guy.
Horrible.
All right, so you got the Bears still at number 1.
I mean,
are you going over 9?
Yeah, I'll go over 9.
You think
I'd
double
say
digits
10,
still?
11. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, they add Ha Clinton Dix
He's
to that
good.
defense.
Yeah.
Cordell Patterson, who was doing everything for the Patriots
receiver,
last
right?
year. Well, he ran the ball too for the
Yeah,
Patriots
a lot of
last
those
year.
speed sweeps.
And then Mike Davis, a running back from Seattle last year. So
okay.
it should be interesting. I think Chuck Pagano is going to have all kinds of fun with
What
his
were
defense.
Mitchell Trubiski's stats last year?
All right, so here you go.
Okay.
14 games played, 3,223 yards, 24 touchdowns, 12 INTs, completion percentage of 66.6%.
That's pretty good, man.
I mean, that's good, but that's everybody in the league now.
That's true. It is a passing league, and 3,000 yards used to be the barometer of a good season, but I feel like that's almost up to 4,000 at this point. But where I will say the ratio, the 2-to-1, is pretty solid, and I think that's something, if he could increase that a little bit, 2.5, 3-to-1 obviously being like the gold standard. But 12 picks, man, in a second year, that was always his, fault, so to speak, was he would be turnover prone. So if he can continue to eliminate that, dude, I'm with you. I think they're the over. I'm still trying to figure out their place amongst the top tier in the NFC, such as the Saints, Rams, Eagles, Cowboys, kind of where they fit into all that. But I do think they should be the favorites to win this division. And with all three of them at 9, there's got to be some decent odds there for them to pull this out.
For sure. They probably their best game last year was against the Rams, and they dominated the Rams.
Yeah.
Dominated them on Sunday night in Soldier Field. So they've shown they can beat them. And they took the Eagles to the brink last year. So you can't say that the Eagles dominated them last year.
Sure.
3 quarters of that game, I thought we were going to lose the game.
Yeah, for sure, man, for sure. And on their heels, coming back is Aaron Rodgers.
A-Rod's back.
What injury is he coming off of this time, dude? I can't even keep up with this guy.
Was it the knee?
Was it the knee, the collarbone?
Well, they hurt his knee.
Yeah, okay.
First game of the
then
season,
he
and
came back
and won the game.
Yeah, oh my God, dude. So
Hit
I guess
Randall Cobb deep, and
you have to assume he's just going to be A-Rod again, right? Like MVP style, and carry them to double digits.
Their biggest issue, and I think this is going to be a bigger issue than people are leading on, is Matt LaFleur has come in and said, "This is my offense. This isn't anyone else's offense.
Okay,
this is my offense." He's in a wheelchair on the sidelines because he hurt his knee.
That's right.
So he's freaking mumbling around, and Rodgers. People can say what they want about Aaron Rodgers. I know a lot of people think he's a likable guy, but I get the feeling that if he doesn't like the situation he's in, he ain't gonna do it.
He could be a tough guy to work with.
Yeah, so that'll be very interesting to see how their relationship builds throughout the season. That being said,
they're obviously saying all the right things early on here.
That being said, I have a win on their schedule when the Eagles come in on Thursday.
No, what is that, week 2,
I don't
right?
like that one. I don't like that.
That's going to be interesting on how the offense sticks out early there as well.
Key losses, Clay Matthews, been there forever. He's gone.
Sure.
Jake Ryan, Randall Cobb, been there forever. He's gone. Bashawn Breeland, good corner. Muhammad Wilkerson, he's gone. Temple guy. But they were active in free agency, giving big money to Zadarius Smith, Preston Smith, and Billy Turner as the guard position. So they've spent money, and they normally don't spend money.
And they went with the offensive line there because, what is it, after 10 years of Rodgers getting hurt, maybe they're like, oh, keep him healthy, win more games, not have to watch a backup quarterback like Matt Flynn run around for a couple weeks.
I get very nervous with talking about the Eagles for a second with Wentz is when the Packers went and they won the Super Bowl in 11. I think it was 11 against the Steelers. Everyone was like, oh, Aaron Rodgers is going to have 10 freaking 11 Super Bowls. And then they haven't been back since.
Right.
And it's like what is going on? Like, I know it's the paying the quarterback and everything, but it makes me nervous. I mean, they came bat out of the hell the next year and went 15-1, and then they lose to the 9-7 Giants in the 2012 playoffs. So what the hell are we getting at Aaron Rodgers? I know he's a great player, but he hasn't been back in the Super Bowl since.
So less of a sure bet on the Packers, definitely, because A-Rod's been all over the spectrum. Yeah. We never know what we're getting, a lot of turnover. And the team that was supposed to be back last year lost 2 years ago to the Eagles in the NFC and got better after that offseason, supposedly by guaranteeing Kirk Cousins $84 million. What are you making in Minnesota, man? They just collapsed down the stretch last year and let the Eagles sneak in.
I think that NFC Championship game had a larger effect on this Vikings team, and I'm I'm not the biggest Zimmer fan.
Okay.
I don't know if he really is a great head coach.
Right.
He's a good defense coordinator. We saw that all those years in Cincinnati. But
sure.
I don't know if he's the best. And he just has this scowl on his face every time Kirk Cousins makes a mistake. And it's just like, oh, man. I think they would have been better off keeping Case Keenum and then just building around him instead of giving all this money to
on the quarterback.
Kirk.
So is their defense supposed to be stout once again? I feel like the calling card of this division is going to be their defenses.
I mean, they lose Sheldon Richardson. That was a huge loss. Sendejo's gone. Lose some backup corners and safeties, and then losing Lat Murray as your backup to Dalvin Cook, and losing some offensive linemen in Mike Remmers and Tom Compton, two of their starters last year. Not much.
Dalvin Cook coming back, though, is going to be big for them. Didn't he tear his knee up last year?
2 years ago.
It was 2 years ago, but he was solid last year.
Yeah, he was. He had a good year last year.
So he should help him out for sure in the running game if they can get anything going there.
Okay, so let's talk about the Lions, and then we'll do predictions.
Let's talk about them because we have to.
They spent a lot of money this year, and they got better in the offseason.
What was their record last year?
6-10.
Well, their over-unders at 6.5, so apparently they only got a half a game better.
Yeah, I mean, they spent a lot of money.
Okay. Who did they spend money on?
They got C.J. Anderson, Danny Amendola, Jesse James, Trey Flowers, Justin Coleman. Only lose Ansah, which only losing him is kind of a big one. But they add that tight end, Hawkinson, the one everyone was talking about from Iowa. So
in the draft.
Yeah. So there's another weapon for Stafford to throw to.
It's interesting there. Matt Patricia. In his second year, it seems that he's kind of first year feeling it out. What do I got here? What do I need? Okay, general manager, do this or we're not going to be any good.
I think 6 is right around the number for the Lions. I think that's about accurate, I think.
I don't know, man. I think they could steal a couple games in this division.
8-8?
2 or 3, like 7-9, 8-8. If they go 2-4, 3-3 in this division, that's a 7-9 record.
Do you think this division's going to beat everybody up? And maybe the Bears kind of go 5-1, 4-2.
That's our 4-2 Bears.
They can't beat Rodgers.
Right, like you're gonna split there with them. Maybe sweep Detroit, split with
Minnesota.
The Green Bay splits, sweep Detroit. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe Detroit's 2-4, so 7-9. Oh yeah, that's 6.5's right there, man.
I don't know if you realize this, but we definitely didn't plan this to all you people, but we talked about the divisions that are playlaying each other this year.
We did. Of course we did.
The North is playing the Eagle.
I Googled
the East,
that and
I'm
worked
like,
that in for sure. Of course.
So I'm glad this division is in shambles and that there are a lot of iffies there because I'm like, sweet, there's 4 games for the Eagles to potentially go 3-1.
Okay, so you're transitioning right there into the Birds.
Yes.
And they are predicted to be atop the NFC East based on offseason moves. We know the Dallas Cowboys are very good. Yes. But when it comes to over-unders, it does seem to be universally speaking that on paper heading into the year, the Eagles are the team to beat.
So you want to talk Eagles first?
We might as well go top to bottom, man. That's kind of the way we've been pushing these over-unders. And as I pull it up here, like I mentioned, we got the Birds at 10.
Okay.
Tops the division.
Well, let's rifle through some key additions here for the Birds.
Let's do it.
Deshaun, back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Jordan Howard, as spoken with the Bears, he's now a Philadelphia Eagle, probably looking to be the workhorse for this team, although Doug doesn't really have a workhorse.
He's a committee guy, man, and with 4 viable options back there. That's something to watch, whether or not these people are going to get pissed because they're not getting touches. Right. They're all going to get touches.
Right.
That's one of those, it's a good problem. We have too many options. Yeah, it's a good problem until 2 of them get pissed off.
Well, here's the
thing.
Got a
problem.
The good thing is Sproles knows what he's coming back for. Howard, you'd think he probably gets 15 to
Corey
18
Clement's
reps.
the guy who I'm kind of worried about if he doesn't get enough touches because Sanders being a rookie.
He's not going to do it.
Okay.
You would think.
He's looked good in camp so far, 2nd-round pick. You would think he's going to get touches if you're using a 2nd-rounder. And then you got the undrafted Clement guy coming off an injury, but he's going back in his mind going, I had 100 yards and should have been, I guess, runner-up MVP of the Super Bowl. So, I don't know, man, but keep going.
Thing I'm pumped about, Malik Jackson, Timmy Jernigan's back, Vinny Curry, Zach Brown, LJ Fort, Andrew Sendejo. So as lethal as this offense looks on paper, they really did add a lot of stuff on defense because, let's be honest, last year that defense was mediocre at best.
Yeah, it was interesting, dude, because you say that, and yet I have to remind you yet again, I was screaming at the offense for the
whole
entire
time.
month of November and December.
I know.
So, yes, the defense, we were up 20-16, and they gave up a long drive to Carolina at the end. The defense stinks. No, our offense scored 20 points today, Pags.
They did it. It's kind of unique looking at it like this from an outside perspective. They obviously add Jackson and Howard, but then they add all these defensive things. But then you look at the draft, and it was Dillard,
offense,
Sanders,
offense,
Arthega. It's Arthega.
Arthega.
It's not Arcega.
Offense.
Arthega. Whiteside. Yep. And then Sharif Miller from Penn State. So defensive player there. So
we'll see, dude. We'll see. I like what they've done. Obviously, the biggest key is going to be the health/performance of Carson Wentz.
15 pounds lighter.
A little more slim.
Camp.
I don't know how I feel about that because if he doesn't change the style of play,
it's worse.
It's going to be a detriment.
Yes.
Because he's not going to have as much mass and body to absorb the hits. So, in my head, you're hoping that this is step one of a multi-step process to not get hit, run around, and stay healthy. But till I see it, Pags, I don't know, man. Talk is cheap, you know? It's just one of those things where he's going to get in the moment. You know the athlete's going to take over, and he's going to dip under the D end and get cracked, and you're like, dude, just fall over, please.
For the love of God.
Stop it.
So let's go to their probably most threatening in this division.
Oh, absolutely, man.
The Dallas Cowboys, who swept them last year. I was at the one, and it was brutal to watch.
Not
Zeke
good.
Jumping over everybody. Cowboys add Kellen Moore, promote him. I know Cowboys fans have been waiting for Scott Linehan to be fired. Not a fan of his play calling at all, especially in that Rams playoff game. So got him, add a 90-year-old Randall Cobb to the staff, a 100-year-old Jason Witten to the staff.
There it is. Not the staff, the roster.
To the roster. Robert Quinn, solid player, defensive end.
My question to you is, as you're rifling through these, and the name you didn't mention because it happened in the middle of last year, but is Amari Cooper.
Yes.
And after that trade happened,
they were the team to beat.
7-1, 6-2, like very, very good.
I remember thinking they gave up a first round pick.
Yeah, like it was a difference maker, man. It was really kind of interesting to watch. Be like, wow, if Dak has a 1, is he good? Like there was a lot of evidence there. And the question is, at 9 for the over/under, and them with this roster, and 1, 2, 3, and Dak, Zeke, and Cooper. Isn't that low, dude? Aren't they staring at 10, 11 if they just play the way they did with some additions that you mentioned?
Well, their defense is really good. Byron Jones, Van Der Esch,
and
Jalen
the offense
Smith
was good in the last half.
Yes. I think their O-line has gotten slightly older.
Of course, it's a year later, Pags. Everybody gets older.
They've gotten 365 days older.
There it is. That's some analytics. That's what sabermetrics.
There it is. But I'm saying they were older to begin with. They had the best offensive line 5 years ago, and now it
Do you
seems
think their O-line is better than the Eagles?
No.
You do not?
I think back in the day, they were way better. But Frederick's always hurt. Tyron Smith's always hurt. I mean, Tyron Smith's probably the best tackle in football, and then I would put Lane Johnson second.
Because I was listening to the Go Birds pod. Okay. It was the Inside the Birds with Mosher and Kaplan. So, not, free pub for other podcasts. But those are two gentlemen really checked in with the Birds. And they did the NFC East preview where they ranked the positional units. And actually, both of them had the Cowboys O-line ahead of the Eagles O-line for 2019. Not for future window, but for coming up this year, position to position.
Yeah.
Had it, if not a little
Eagles
bit better. Certainly comparable.
Injury issues.
Well, that's it. They got
like
Peters, Brooks, Kelsey, Vaitai. So the same way you're talking about their line, the Eagles have those issues too.
But I think the Eagles' overall team is better than
I think they're 1-2 literally in the entire NFL.
Everything.
It's crazy.
Yeah. They're like these two teams are good.
Yeah.
They're both playoff teams in my eyes.
I think so too. Especially because we'll touch on briefly.
This is the reason these two teams have maybe 4 or 5 wins already marked up on their calendar because they're going to split.
We got the Redskins and the Giants at 6.5 and 6 respectively.
Which one do you want to touch?
So let's go Washington 6.5. Man, Vegas has them slightly higher, and Alex Smith not playing. They got Dwayne Haskins. People
Case
don't know
Keenum?
if he's going to run out. There you go, right? So depending on training camp and the preseason, that's one of those conversations. Oh, does he sit for a few weeks? Do we play him right away? What's better? What's worse? Ultimately, I think he's going to play.
Yes.
I think they're going to run him out there. And even if Case Keenum plays like the first game, it's going to be like a half.
Yeah.
And they're going to be down and
get Dwayne in there.
put Dwayne in the game. Let's go. So that's going to be tough, man.
Well, the good thing is they don't have Mark Sanchez running out there because that's how they ended the year last year.
New college football analyst.
Oh, God.
Mark Sanchez. But their defense, dude, I think is not where it's been in years past. So I know the Eagles always have a tough time with them, at least in one of their games. But I don't know. I just see now finally them over that hump.
Yeah.
And with New York, too, just the roster construction. It's just not on the level of Dallas and the Eagles. I don't think that's a hot take in any way, shape, or form.
Adding Landon Collins to the Redskins, that's obviously going to be a key secondary move, and with Josh Norman still playing there. So they're going to have a decent secondary, and the kid from Alabama, having Jonathan Allen another year, I think he's becoming kind of one of those stud defensive kind of how Fletcher Cox was in his beginning years. He's going to be a force to be reckoned with. But overall, this team, I don't know how they're going to score points with Dwayne Haskins,
Dwayne
rookie
can sling it,
quarterback.
man. I don't know who he's got to throw to, but he can throw it, dude.
Jamison Crowder's gone.
Terrell Pryor's gone.
They got that Dotson guy from TCU.
Okay, he can run.
Receiver, so we'll see. I'm not too high on the Redskins. And then the team nobody's high on.
Yes.
Even their own fan base, the New York Giants, all started with the draft of Daniel Jones. They all hate him. They don't like Eli anymore. They respect Eli, but they don't like him anymore.
But they don't want to move on to Daniel Jones.
For the love of God,
so
exactly.
They're screwed. They got no options.
This structure, you add Golden Tate, but you let OBJ leave. Golden Tate's out for 4 weeks.
Couple other injuries.
Sterling Shepard's out.
Yep.
Broke his foot.
Amazing.
And then
you think Saquon's going to carry the ball like 700 times?
No doubt. You want fantasy points?
What's the record for touches in a year?
Oh, he's going to get 1 million.
He may be over.
And I feel bad for him because he's a local kid and Penn State guy. You get drafted by the Giants. Woohoo! Yay! You're in the area. You grew up liking that team.
Bright lights,
dude.
So you're going under 6.
Under 6.
Okay. Are you going like worst team in the NFL under 6?
No.
Okay.
5.
Just closer, but what'd they get last year? 3, 4?
Over. Yeah.
So
they were 5 and 11. Okay. So I'm right there.
So you're going almost a push of last year.
Because I think Eli's going to play the majority of the year.
8, 10, 12 weeks.
And then by the end of it, it's like, okay, let's move on here.
Okay. All right. Well, we've run a little bit long here because we had some opinions.
We got a lot to talk about.
We had some opinions in these divisions, and what we didn't do that we'll wrap up with here now is rank them. Standings, predictions, NFC North.
I don't have to give you a number.
Yeah, give me the standings. You can if you'd like.
Yeah. Bears, probably right around there at the top, 11-5. And then I'll go Packers, Vikings, Lions, NFC East, Eagles, Cowboys, but Cowboys being higher win total than the two of the divisions. I think the Eagles 12-4, Cowboys.
You're putting the Packers at 10, so that would have them in, and then you had the Niners.
Oh, yeah.
Which are 9 or 10.
Yeah, I think the Cowboys will have a higher win total than 2 of the division winners. Like
winners?
They're going to be like,
no way.
Yeah.
So you're thinking it's like 13-3 Eagles, 12-4
possibly
Cowboys as the 5
seed. I think these
seed.
2 teams are that good.
Wow, that would be.
It's gonna be one of those where it's like the Eagles have to play every single fucking game because it's like they're gonna be neck and neck.
Can you imagine being a fan base going like 12-4?
Well, that's what I'm saying. I think there's gonna be that issue where they're like
playing a road.
Why isn't it like the
game?
NBA where the higher seeds play
that would
and whatever?
Be interesting.
Well, it's like when you get the 8-8 teams that make the division, and then they have to play the 12-4 team,
that's
then they
what
lose.
You're saying.
Like the Seattle when Marshall.
Who the hell do you think they're going to have a better record than? The Rams, Saints, Bears, and Eagles are your top 4.
Rams and Bears, if not even.
Yeah,
right there.
Because I'm thinking those teams are 10, 11, 12.
I think the
teams
Saints
too.
and the Eagles are going to be.
Okay, so you're going Saints, Eagles, bye. Everybody else in. Not that I'm putting it on.
Yeah,
you,
no.
That's
what I'm leaning at.
I'm going. I think I'm going the same thing you are, dude. The Bears, Packers, Vikings, and then the Eagles, Cowboys, and then my wild card teams. Cowboys are one of them. And then it's going to come down to, I said, the Seahawks, the Packers, and the Falcons for that 6th spot.
Yeah,
those 3 teams.
Right. Yeah,
so. Probably at that 9-7, 10-6 mark. Sneaking in there. And like
do you think the Cowboys are going to be?
I think Dallas will be like 11-5,
the 5th wild card spot.
Yeah, I think they'll be 5. I think the Eagles and Cowboys, the loser of that division, is the 5th wild.
A lot of pressure this year.
Card. Yeah, man.
As Eagles fans,
for sure.
Nerve-wracking.
You want that bye and not a road wild card game.
No, you do not.
Oh
so
my
we'll
God.
see what happens.
But anyway, guys, call the hotline. Let us know. The number's in the description of the episode. It's also in our bio on Instagram. I threw it on Facebook and. Give us your takes. We've gotten a few voicemails about our standings here. What we're actually going to do is read those in on the mailbag voice line series. That way we can discuss them in a little bit more detail that way. And if you're interested, why don't you guys head on over to that episode, give it a click, and I think you're going to be entertained.
Let's do it. Later, guys.
Peace.